Yo, that absolutely stank. Talk about put a pin in the balloon, pop the balloon, the balloon of excitement, the balloon of enthusiasm, the balloon of hope built up from the back end of last season throughout the summer with the signings made. Carrick in his first full season after his first full pre-season. And we start like that. Let me get straight into these player ratings. Yeah, we'll talk about we'll talk about it from a team perspective after. Yeah, let me get straight into these player ratings. Right, Lamens 6.5. Made a great save, made some other decent saves as well. The only thing I could say is maybe he could have come for a few more crosses from set pieces and whatnot. But in general, I think he had a decent game. I gave him a 6.5. Man of the match for me, if there is one. Mazraoui, I gave him a 4. Now, he got done on the set piece. Him and Maguire got tangled up together. In general, he was decent defensively. He made a very good clearance from across where Bernie was coming onto it. However, my gripe with Mazraoui is he adds absolutely nothing going forward. So in games like this, when we're going to have the majority of the ball, whole set up in a 5-4-1 formation, as Lampard should have swallowed his pride and done a similar thing last night against Arsenal. But anyway, I've done a video on that already. But back to Mazraoui. So in a game like this, I don't know who to blame, him or Carrick, because it's like, you have to be able to offer something going forward. We had 70% of possession and we wasn't even good in possession. So if we was good in possession, we would have even more possession. We'd have 80% possession. But what's the point if your fullbacks can't capitalize on it? Going forward, he adds absolutely nothing. Not one overlapping run. He's coming inside, so he's on the same line as Mbeumo, because Mbeumo's coming inside on his left foot. Now you're tucking inside. There's a couple of times, Tielemans had the ball and he's looking out to his right-hand side and there's no one there. Then he's looked back inside, those passing lines are cut off, and he's having to tell Mazraoui, like, get out wide, give me an option. Like, it's ridiculous. So yeah, 4. Maguire, I gave him a 5. He didn't dominate set pieces. Listen, that's basically your selling point. That's your selling point. That's your USP. That, come on, you got to dominate aerially. You got to dominate set pieces. Instead, you're tussling with your own guy. But to give him his credit, he did try and drive us forward. He did try and give us that impetus to go forward and get a goal and get back in the game. So I gave him a 5. Aiden Heaven, very disappointing, because I've been calling for his chance, his opportunity. Although I don't think his opportunity is one game. I think his opportunity, you need to give him a run of games, but I doubt he'll get that now. I think Martinez will come back in, and I gave him a 3. I gave Aiden Heaven a 3. He was completely dominated by McBurney, so I couldn't give him more than a 3. I was very disappointed by his performance. However, I do believe it is a great learning experience. This game, coming up against a team like Hull, fighting for their lives. Not even fighting for their lives, but first game of the season at home. Literally fighting for those 3 points, not for their lives, fighting for history. Like, this was basically a cup final for them, and up against a robust forward like McBurney, who has Premier League experience. He definitely got roughed up, manhandled, and I feel like those experiences can turn a boy into a man in terms of a centre-back. So yeah, anyway, I gave him a 3. Sure, I gave him a 4.5. Non-existent in the first half. Got forward more in the second half when Rashford came on, but then poor end product. Poor end product. So yeah, I gave him a 4.5. Again, we're dominating possession. We need our fullbacks to contribute going forward. Now, credit to Shaw, he made, in the second half anyway, he made efforts to get forward. Once he got forward, his end product weren't quite there. Like, fullbacks like Shaw, Mazraoui, even Dalot to a certain extent, they're better against teams where we're going to have less of the ball. Yeah? When the impetus is on us to break a team down, a low block especially, players like Mazraoui, Shaw, that's when you need a Dorgu at left back. making attacking runs forward, overlapping. That's when you need a... I don't even know who I could say. I don't know. Who can we have at right back? Who? We need to go and get one. This is why anyway, let me move on. I digress. So yeah, sure, 4.5. Tielemans got a 2. Worst player on the field today. Kept getting caught in possession. He was leggy. And a couple of times Bruno tried to link up with him. He just wasn't on the same wavelength. He was just sleeping. He's one step behind. And he's an experienced player. So Heaven, I can kind of give him a little bit of grace. Although I gave him a 3, Heaven, I could say, you know, well, he'll learn from it and whatnot. Tielemans, I can't say the same thing. There's nothing you're going to learn from this. You've seen it all. You've done it all. So you just need to do better. You need to be better. So you got a 2. Worst player on the pitch today. Santos got a 4. Didn't win enough 50-50s and didn't win enough second balls. Like, literally, I can't remember us winning 1 second ball today. Minimal 50-50s today. And that's basically what Santos is in there to do alongside Tielemans, as well as break lines with passes. Most of his job is about those 50-50s, those second balls. Yeah, and he didn't do his job today, so he got a 4. But he did put in he tried. I saw him. He was trying to run around, and do you know what I mean? But it just weren't working out. And Mbumo, I gave him a 6. He was our most threatening attacker. I think he should have scored. He had a chance on his right foot. He should have scored. But in general, he was our most threatening attacker in the second half, especially because more space started to open up a little bit, which gave him more opportunities to make those runs in between the fullback and centre back. So yeah, I gave him a 6. Bruno, I gave him a 4. He was trying. Nothing really came off though. A couple of times, like I said before, with Tielemans, a few players weren't on his wavelengths where he's doing a dummy, trying to set someone for a shot. They're half asleep and whatnot. But also, I don't think Bruno looked sharp either. He didn't look fully match fit. He didn't play much preseason games. I think he got 190 minutes under his belt preseason. So I think it will take a few games for us to see the best of Bruno. But what upset me is listen. Couple of those were, you know, fitness reasons. Cool, he's not sharp, he's not match fit. Cool, but there's other things where it's like old habits starting to creep into your game from day one, game one, and that is when he started to come deep. From the second half, especially, he's coming deep. He's basically stepping on the toes of Santos and Tielemans. Yeah, and we don't need you to do that. We just spent 155 million on midfielders. So we don't need you to come to drop in and do the job of the 155 million that was spent on these guys. We need you to stay in the final third and make things happen up there. And if you do drop in, you better do something miraculous. Yeah, don't drop in and do the same old stuff they're doing. Don't make no sense. Dorgu, I gave him a 5. Had a couple of half chances in the first half. He was getting cooked on Twitter, by the way. I think it's a little bit unfair. You have to understand, against a low block, yeah, he looked good in spells last season at left wing because we were playing against big teams. We were playing against teams that dominate the ball. So we're now playing without the ball majority of the time. We're now playing on a counter attack in transitions. That's where Dorgu's good, space in behind, space to run into. Yeah, Dorgu's not good against a low block where you got to link up and do little intricate things in between the lines and all of that. He's no space for him to run into. He's basically ineffective. So that's all it is. Like games like that, it's management that fucked up, not Dorgu. Games like that, Dorgu needs to be left back, making overlapping runs. Do you know what I mean? Past the inverted winger or whatnot, whether it's Rashford, Cunha, whoever. Dorgu needs to be left back, making forward runs beyond those players, not the player in between the lines with Luke Shaw trying to make runs. Listen, it's just too negative. Moving on. So I gave him a 5 anyway, because in the first half, people forget he was our biggest goal threat. He had like one time he should have got on the end of a cross. He kind of bottled it. Second time, he turned and he shot with his left foot. It just went past the post. He had a couple of half chances first half, and I don't remember too many other players getting into threatening positions or even testing the keeper first half. So moving on to Cunha, 4.5. Looked one step behind as well, a bit like Bruno. Obviously, he's not match fit yet. If Ahmad was fit, I don't think Cunha would have started. So, with that being said, I think we'll see the best of him as he gets match fit, you know, a few games on. But he could have had an assist today. He could have had an assist today. If Mbumo finished that chance, he would have had an assist today. But apart from that, similar to Bruno, there's things that, although you're not match fit, it's like mentality. Do you know what I mean? You're an experienced player. Like Bruno, you started to drop too deep. When things weren't working out, you're starting to drop too deep. We don't need you deep. You're effectively our striker. So we're getting pushed wide. We're doing lots of crosses. Where are you? You're deep. Why? You got to be in the box. You got to make a nuisance of yourself. Even if you ain't going to get on the end of it, you make a nuisance of yourself so other players can get on the end of it. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, let's move on to the subs, because that was the starting 11 anyway. So we had Tielemans. We had Lemens in goal. We had Mazraoui at right back. We had Maguire, Heaven at centre back. We had Shaw at left back. In the double pivot, we had Tielemans and Santos. Right wing, we had Mbumo. And the cam, we had Bruno. And left wing, we had Dorgu. Up front, we had Cunha. In the second half, first sub that came on was Rashford. I gave him a 4. He didn't test the keeper, and he didn't really test the fullback either. So I could only give him a 4. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he had a whole half. He didn't. I don't remember him testing the keeper, and I don't remember him really running at his fullback. So yeah, the only thing he did do was he got Shaw on his back. So again, like, Rashford's coming in trying to do this. You know, that old school Real Madrid where Zidane comes in between the lines and it's Roberto Carlos doing his running down the line. Yeah, Rashford's doing that with Shaw. Like, bro, get on your bike. Get on your bike. Like, start moving your feet. Run at the fullback, bro. That's your, bro. You're not a playmaker, bro. You're not a left 10. You're not. Like, you're proper not. Anyway, listen. Sesko, I gave him a 4. All the crosses that came in the box, he should have at least gotten the end of one. So I gave him a 4. And his link, I think he bottled one as well. There's one where he half went in. He's like, he weren't sure he might get injured. His link-up play weren't the greatest. But we got to give Sesko a bit of grace because he's had absolutely no minutes in pre-season. Which, you know, I'm going to move on to Xerxes. But, you know, Xerxes got 0 minutes today. Stayed on the bench. And anyway, let me move on. Maino, I gave him a 4. Didn't add anything going forward. Just didn't affect the game. Yeah, looked a little bit safer though in there with him when Hull were in transitions and counter-attacking phases. We looked a little bit more like surprisingly his Tielemans and Santos look so leggy that Maino's recovery sprints look rapid compared to them, funnily enough. But I gave him a 4 anyway. Shea Lacey, I gave him a 4 as well. Didn't get on the ball enough to make things happen, but he wasn't helped by Dalot, who also came on, and I also gave a 4 because Dalot didn't provide enough width. Shea Lacey is a left-footed technical left 10, yeah, who can also play camp. So if he's right wing, Dalot, you have to use your experienced football brain, yeah, and provide width, yeah, in order for Shea Lacey to tuck inside between the lines and get the ball to his feet. You then have to go beyond and provide an option for him. But you was trying to tuck inside and get the ball between the lines and do this inverted fullback thing. That it doesn't make any sense. Seriously, don't make any sense. So I didn't even give Carrick a rating, but moving on to Carrick, I gave Tielemans a 2. I got to give Carrick maybe a 2.5. I could all give Carrick a 2 as well because you started Dorgu left wing against a low block. No, he should have been started at fullback, yeah? You started Mazraoui. Like, Dalot ain't great going forward, but he provides a little bit more than Mazraoui, yeah? Even against a low block, yeah? Although Martinez ain't played much games in pre-season, against a low block, you want Martinez in the team. He ain't going to face much running power, yeah, to test his sharpness. But what he's going to have is a lot of time on the ball. We are going to have a lot of the ball. So you want Martinez, your best ball-playing defender, on the pitch, yeah? Experience as well, away from home, at home, first game of the season. You want that experience on the pitch. Okay, I'm not I don't blame, cause I saw on Twitter a lot of people are blaming Carrick. Oh, why would you start 2 new centre midfielders and whatnot? I don't blame him for that. Listen, they've been playing together for the whole preseason. That's on them. That is on them. Mayno's only played like 1 preseason game, so I didn't expect him to start in this. So that centre midfield stuff, all that malarkey is on them. Yeah. And yeah, let's move on to the team's perspective. Yeah, we still struggle against organized low blocks. It's been that way from last season. Like, that's one of my main things with Carrick is some people say, oh, we still don't know what type of style of play he does. I think we do. He talks about he wants more controller games, but really and truly, he does like and sets up teams to play in the counter-attack, or he's more effective when he does it. Against low blocks, it just don't work. It don't work. Like, it proper don't work. And Hull was smart. Hats off to their management. They and their coaching staff. They basically shut off the middle of the park and said to us, left the space out wide, said, yeah, go out wide. Go out wide. We're going to defend our box. We got 3 centre-backs. You ain't even got a recognised striker. You got Cunha up front. Cross the ball, I dare you. Yeah, and that's what we done. That's what we done. Why? Because when we did go out wide, we didn't have fullbacks that can back up the wingers or that can get wide and link up with the wingers. Like, literally, Mazraoui and Luke Shaw, there's like Luke Shaw linking up with Dorgu and Mazraoui linking up with Mbumo. It's like there's zero threat. There's absolutely zero threat. So yeah, pushing us wide in attacking phases literally nullified us. Then we concede 2 goals from set pieces against a newly promoted side away from home in the first game of the season. It's curtains. It's curtains. You give them 1 goal to hold on to, it's a long day. You give them 2. Listen, it's over, buddy. I'm telling you, listen, it is a long, long, long day when you do that. Galvanizing the fans all of a sudden, yeah? Giving the players that extra oomph, yeah? Anyway, used all 5 subs and Xerxes remained on the bench. Why is he even here, if that's the case? Why is he even taking up space on the bench if you're not going to use him when we're 2-0 down and you've used all 5 subs and you brought on defenders. You ain't even brought him on. And he's a striker or a cam. Why not have Chido Obi on the bench? JJ Gabriel. Why? Even Thompson. Why not have them on the bench then? Like, what's the point? Like, surely the writing's on the wall for Xerxes. Like, he didn't get on in the last preseason game. He doesn't get on today. Surely the writing's on the wall. Surely you got to just get rid of him then, innit? You got to get rid of him and you got to get in a new striker. Have to get in a new striker. I also think we need a more attacking right back, more than a left back. All the talk's been about left back. I agree, we need a new left back long-term wise to replace Luke Shaw, yeah, cool. Lewis Hall or Truffert, that's my 2, yeah? But neither of them are available right now. Unless things change in the window, neither of them are available this summer. So you wait till next summer. Obviously, we've got 2 left wingers, even 3 left wingers, even 4 left wingers when Noah Ajayi gets fit again. So therefore, we don't need Dorgu up there. We bring Dorgu's our attacking left back. Shaw's our defensive left back. We've even got Young Amas, if any of those get injured, to fill in. Cool, we're covered. At right back, though, we don't have options. Like I said, you got Dorgu who can go forward from left back. We got Shaw who's a little bit more conservative. You don't have those options at right back. Mazraoui is defensive. Dalot is defensive. Tries to get forward sometimes, but ineffective going forward. So we need to pivot from this left back thing right now. We attack that again in the summer, yeah, or in January if an opportunity arises. But right now, this summer, this window, I feel like we need to go get an attack-minded right back. Unless we're going to play Kamason and give Kamason opportunities. We need an attack-minded right back. Seriously. Like, I feel sorry for the likes of Mbumo, for the likes of Shea Lacey. Not so much Ahmad, because Ahmad's a little bit more, he can go on the out. He's a little bit more of an out and out winger. He's not an out and out winger, but he's more of an out and out winger than Mbumo and Shea Lacey. Ahmad can go on the outside. He can hold his own bar line. Like he can be on the bar line and hold his own. And Mbumo can't and Shea Lacey can't. So they need right backs that will go beyond, to give them that opportunity to go inside, use them as a decoy, or give them the option to use them, to play them in, to do that. Down the line, bar line, crosses. Sesko needs that as well. Do you know what I mean? So I'm telling you guys, we need to pivot from this left back thing for now. We need to readdress that in the summer or in Jan. We need to pivot from that and go get a right back. Yeah. We miss Ahmad as well. We missed not just as attacking sided from an attacking sided point of things. We missed his counter pressing. We missed that aggressive counter press. He's the trigger for our press. Ahmad is like, and Bumo's like our Salah, where he's more the finisher. Ahmad is like the Mane. He triggers the press. Ahmad's like the Diaz, Luis Diaz. He triggers the press. He's the stimulus for our counter press. Like, I'm telling you. We also miss against low blocks. We need Leacher. We need Martinez to be dictating from defense as well. But overall, it just stank. It's absolutely stank. But hopefully, Ineos see that and say, you know what, we need to go get that striker. And listen, I know they're on the left. Forget the left back. We need a right back. Let me know if you agree in the comments. Do you think right now we more need a right back or a left back? I'm saying we need an attack-minded right back. Let me know in the comments. Love.